There we go. For years, I used to think that the innkeeper was the bad guy in the nativity story. But an experiment that I did... For years, I used to think that the innkeeper was the bad guy in the nativity story. But after this experiment that I performed this week, I really see the story in a different light now. Last weekend, I dressed up in a modernized version of Mary. A blue hoodie and a deflated basketball bought me a pregnant image. I went around to different inns, and I asked if there was anywhere that I could stay. I told them I was out of town, my car had broken down, I didn't know anyone, I didn't have insurance, and I didn't know where to go. What I found was that people will help however they can. The innkeeper was full. He couldn't kick anyone out. He helped how he could. He gave Mary and Joseph a safe place to stay. Even if that safe place to stay was a smelly stable. Over my few hours that I spent as Mary, I found out the innkeepers nowadays will do the same thing. At one place that I went to, they begged me to let them call the police. They explained that the police would be able to get me in touch with churches and find me a place to stay. Another place offered me a ride to the hospital. Another place offered to take me back to my car and to wait with me. All of these people wanted to help in whatever way they could. The innkeeper's way in the nativity story was by offering Mary and Joseph and baby Jesus a place to stay in his stable. See, we look at this and we think, well, a stable though. He put the Son of God in a stable. But I don't think that people really stop to realize what an amazing picture of the Christmas story this really is. Before the Christ child is even born, this innkeeper shows Christ's love. The two young people, Mary, who was about 16, and Joseph, who was about 19, they didn't have anything to offer him. His rooms were full, and if his rooms were full, you can bet his coffers were full as well. They didn't have anything that he needed, and he had everything that they needed. They needed safety and security and a place to stay, and that's what he gave them. What he didn't know was that over 30 years later, that little baby that was born in the stable would show him the ultimate kindness. A kindness that paled the kindness that he had shown Christ. You see, over 30 years later, that baby that was born in his stable would die for his sins, and for your sins, and for everyone's sins. That baby he helped would one day save his life. This experiment really just brought to light so much of how we view the nativity story and how in many ways we view it incorrectly. I don't think I'm capable of looking at this story the same way again. I hope you aren't either. Merry Christmas.